brought into it. And so the network that Jim Carroll and Nate Olenson wanted all of us to meet each other. Here we are talking, about this, trying to get other people enlisted in the cause. And so it's a slow process. The title of today's show, if I come back to it, I stuck it somewhere around here. I got notes all over the place. Yeah, it's human trafficking, the growing epidemic with slow response. I think we've kind of covered how intricate this situation is, but how society doesn't want to look at it in a way that it needs to. And so I'm saying, with all the things that are going on in today's world, the Beatles started it in my life. When I was, Beatles first came out, I was in seventh grade. But, we can change the world, love one another, all those things. Well, they're real. And I am so honored to be with you and Atiba and the things that are happening. But Atiba, she introduced you, from what I understand, to Mimi, the Congresswoman. What's Mimi's last name?
It's Mamie Locke.
Yeah. So she gave you an introduction. This woman that couldn't work at a university because she was a prostitute years and years ago in her life to support her children. She introduced you to a state senator in Virginia who opened up the door for you. And today is congratulations, because, you got a sponsor on both sides of the state government. But my encouragement is network with good people and see where it takes you. That's kind of what I want to say. You got any thoughts on that part of the conversation?
The only thing I would say is that sometimes people think that networking is complicated, and it's actually very simple. I can break it down like this: is that tell anyone who will listen to your story, and then listen to theirs, and actually then listen to their story. And if they listen to you and you listen to them, you never know where that can take you. And you don't do it with an expectation. When I sat down with Atiba, Jim Carroll had said to me, "Hey, you need to meet this person." And I said, if Jim Carroll says I got to meet this person, I got to meet this person. And I had no clue that just talking to her and learning from her, that we would be working together, and that, the help that she would give me with what I was trying to do, and I'm trying to help her with some of the things that she's trying to do. But I was just willing to listen to someone's story, and they were willing to listen to mine. And that's all networking is. And you never know what will come out of it. And you don't have any expectations of it either. And you just kind of let things work themselves out. And if you do that enough times, things will happen.
No expectations. That's a key to it. And for the types of people that I'm always trying to encourage to maybe change their thinking. And in other words, a lot of people think about themselves because they don't have a lot of opportunity and they're in their survival mode. And Atiba, I want to share this. Everybody ought to go back and listen to the couple episodes that I did with Atiba. It was episode 145 and 146 just a couple weeks ago. Powerful episodes. Well, the thing that I'm trying to say here is that a lot of people are so focused on just themselves because they're in a low place and they don't have a job and they need to move forward. But Atiba said something on that show that I think is critically important that I want to bring back up. Atiba talks about the population that she's most working with, where she thinks is a solution to a lot of the problems that we have with the people that are incarcerated, the juvenile justice system in particular. 14 to 24-year-old blacks. And it's all over the show that we do. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of people that are various ethnic groups, they don't want to relate to that comment that population. They just kind of like, yeah, well, that's a lot of stuff going on in our society that's causing a problem. They ought to change something there. But they don't want to get involved, so to speak. But here's what I want to tell you, Atiba said, that will change people's thinking. A lot of people think that a juvenile that's maybe 17 years old that robs a 7-Eleven, terrible, or is out selling drugs or whatever, they think that person, is one of the worst young people there is. They need to be disciplined. They need to train, put away whatever their deal is. A lot of wrong thinking about what they think they need to do for this person. But what she said, these are beautiful, good young people, and they are strong people. But here's her point. Some of them drop out of school because they make a whole lot more money on the street selling drugs. But why do they want to make money selling drugs is what people aren't focusing on. They're just focusing on, oh, this kid's dropped out of school. He joined a gang. He's selling drugs. He needs to be put away for years, No. Picture this, a 17-year-old that drops out of school whose mother's got 3 kids younger than him, and she's working as hard as she can to try to support it with no father in the picture. This young man loves his mother, and he wants to help support his family. Now, that motivation is what we're talking about here. Not everybody that's out there doing bad things out on the streets, selling drugs or breaking into 7-Elevens. Deep down inside, they're just young people that want to help their family eat because there's circumstances. I mean, the most at-risk people are in the poverty sectors where they don't have a lot of opportunity. But what Atiba said is that this is a good person. This person needs to be trained. This person needs to be motivated. Take those street skills and apply them to having your own opportunities and maybe start your own business. And it goes on like that. My point that I'm giving you is this. A lot of people look at people that are having hard times in the wrong way. They only look at what the result is that person ended up as. And it's the same thing with the human trafficking. They look at a young woman anywhere between 14 to 29, 30 years old, whatever. It's been a prostitute. It's been involved. And they go, that's dirty. I don't want to be involved. But they don't understand what that person has been through and what that person could really be if they were loved and nurtured and helped in the right way. That's kind of what my point is. What do you think about that?
Well, it's such a complicated, it's such a complicated issue on so many different fronts. And the only thing I can say to that is that with regards to the human trafficking is that, the advocacy that I'm doing is very limited to the sort of the prostitution angle where people are forced into prostitution and then they get out and they have a conviction on their record for prostitution and they're, it's not recognized that they were a victim. It's not, for my legislation that I'm working on, you have to be defined as a victim of human trafficking to get the relief. And so, those people in that specific situation deserve a second chance because it's such a complicated issue. And, all the other issues that you talk about also are so complicated that the only way forward in my mind for people is, like I said, is like whatever area of life you are in, if you have an opportunity to help and you choose to help, it's something you want to do, then just aim for the highest good that you can in your sphere of influence. And that's all you have to do. And if enough of us do that, I think there will be real change. And I think the problem is too complicated to attack any other way.
Yeah. It might be a thimble in an ocean, but if we just take that first step and do one thing, it'll snowball. An article that I read, and I just want to plug this. There's an organization, and I think it's called the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. Now that's a heavy thing, a conference of this Catholic group, but they do a lot. Catholic Relief Services is what I'm talking about here. That's the article that I got some information from. But how to stop human trafficking? The 3 P's: prevent trafficking, protect victims, and prosecute traffickers. I think that's pretty straightforward. Well, Wade, time's run out. I just want to say I think that we did what we set out to do today. Talked about human trafficking, what the issues are, what the problem is. Gave some beautiful encouragement, but I love your summary of the whole thing. Aim for your highest goal as an individual, and I think that's absolutely beautiful. So with that said, Wade, I just want to thank you for being on the show again. I look forward to working with you on what things that we're talking about. And like I said today, God bless you, and may the Lord just do more for helping you continue in the love that you share for other people. Thank you for working.
Thank you for having me today, Steve. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. Well, everybody, I hope that you are paying close attention to what we're trying to expose you to and do, aim for your highest goal. And with that said, everybody have a wonderful week, and God bless you.
Thanks for listening to Right Thinking with Steve Copeland. I look forward to being with you again next week. And remember, don't quit, plan ahead, it will get better. God bless you and have a great week.